Welcome to the Fail Forward Podcast. The purpose of this podcast is change the negative stigma around failure into a positive. Failure is only a negative if we do not learn from it and we give up. Welcome back to the Fail Forward Podcast. So today I'm going to be talking about how to enjoy the journey, how to have gratitude for the things that happen in our life. The reason why I talk about the journey is because I have been listening to a lot of podcasts and I've been around a lot of successful people and networking with decamillionaires and very, very successful people. And one of the common themes when I'm talking to a lot of people comes, and Stephen Bartlett actually talks about the day that his business was valued for 300 million. And in his words, that's sort of when he knew he'd made it. And he said that day he felt empty. Maybe, I don't know whether the words were fulfilled, but he didn't have this feeling of, oh, I've made it. And actually, when he was talking about it, he was looking back and saying, you know, it's the doing and part of the journey that is it's the fun bit. I remember also when I was first started as a tree surgeon and I was sat in one of my customers' gardens and he owned a very big house and we were doing his super big hedge and he'd retired and he was like, I'm bored now. He said, I miss the fun. I miss the grind. He was a big scrap metal dealer. And he said, I miss being in the yard. I miss the lads. I miss being part of it. And also when I've read about Olympic gold medal winners and Jonny Wilkinson, and they train for years and they then win the medal. And actually afterwards they feel empty and lost. And Jonny Wilkinson, after he kicked that drop goal to win us the World Cup, you know, he was heavily depressed after it. And that's why I'm not necessarily talking about what to do in those scenarios, but I'm talking about how we can enjoy the journey, how we can enjoy the process, because life is difficult and life's tough. And some days I'm in the middle of the businesses and it feels tough and I'm not enjoying it. And it's really difficult to try and take that what have happened to other people, you know, that feeling of emptiness, the getting to where they wanted to get to, and then it just being nothing and the feeling of nothing. And actually some people say I just wasn't enjoying it when I was in it and doing it, but actually that was the fun bit. So I just wanted to do this episode to try and make people aware of the positions we're in. And for me, certainly, I'm nowhere near made it yet. I've still got huge goals and huge ambitions I want to go to, but I have to keep reminding myself when there's the shit days, when I feel empty and lost and I feel difficult, that actually, and I'm having some challenging moments, that actually this is part of it. This is part of the living it. This is part of the doing it. This is part of what we're building. This is the fun bit. It's the exciting bit. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it when we've got people owing us money and we owe out people money and we've got, you know, kit breaking, staff kicking off, whatever it is, all these different challenges that we have a day to day. It doesn't necessarily in the moment feel like it's supposed to be the exciting fun bit, but it genuinely is. This is the bit we're living for. This is the bit we've decided to do, is to start a business or to live the life that we're living. So we've got to try and enjoy it. And one of the things that I've done to work out for me to be able to enjoy it is I've started to have more gratitude. And I have heard people talking about this for years. Lewis Howes talked about it a lot on the Expert Empire stage 6 months ago. And it's about having gratitude. Gratitude for what's in your life and start looking at what you're thankful for. So, you know, I do it with the kids now. Every dinner time we sit round, what have we been thankful for today? You know, it sounds a bit airy fairy, but it's not. It actually works. Like last night, I couldn't sleep in bed. So the first thing I'm starting to think about, rather than thinking about all the things that I might be worried or concerned about, I start thinking about what am I thankful for? I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the businesses that I have. I'm thankful for the place I live, the country I live in, the town that I live in, the village I live in. You know, when you start focusing on all the things to be thankful for, that helps you appreciate the moments and it helps you appreciate the days that you're in. So you're not always, because as business owners, let's face it, we're always striving for that goal. We're always looking in front of ourselves. We're never looking back. We're always looking forward. And that can be quite unforgiving because you just hit one thing, right, I've done that, right, next thing, right, next thing. And you're never looking back and having gratitude. So I believe that, and as I say, I'll be able to tell you this, where hopefully when I get to there, when I have that feeling of the multi-million pound company or the gold medal or winning what I want to win or what you want to win, when I get there, I'll be able to maybe do a different episode on how I feel at that point. But what I can do is tell you now the things that I am doing to try and enjoy part of the journey, part of the time that we're taking, the time that we have on this planet, and trying to enjoy it. And I believe the one way to do that is by having gratitude, appreciating what we have, looking at the positives. Now, not everything's going to be positive. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, everything's positive, you've always got to be positive. You know, this podcast called Fail Forward, it's because the shit hits the fan from time to time, and we've got to learn from it, and we've got to move on, and we've got to keep learning. But what we want to do is have the gratitude for the things that are going well in our life, the good things in our life, and concentrate more on that. And then that will help us be in the moment. It will help us appreciate the tough times and the good times. And it's trying to look at, if something bad happens, what is the good? Like Rob Moore talks about it all the time with Dr. John DeMartini. You know, it's the balance of every bad thing that happens. There's something good that happens. You know, what is it when something happens that you can try and find the good in? You know, what if something really bad happens? Like, you know, we've had it before where we've had a really key member of staff leave, and actually what's happened is that door's closed and no one's opened, and another member of team has come up through the ranks and done really well. So it's just focusing on when things go wrong, what's the good that can come out of that thing that's gone wrong? You know, what is the good that can come out of it? You know, things like, you know, COVID was tragic for a lot of people, but actually a lot of good came out of it. I know lots of people that bonded with their kids more, got time off, furloughed, and actually got to bond with their children more. There was lots of good that came out of that tragic situation for a lot of people who lost lives, and there is good and bad in every situation. But having the gratitude and the appreciation for the different things in your day-to-day life will help you enjoy the journey. So if you can take one thing away from what I'm talking about today, it's to really try and appreciate the positions you're in on a daily basis, because getting to where you want to get to might not fulfill you like you want it to. I still believe there will be fulfillment there, but not to the exact, because I believe the day in and day out, the compound of doing everything you're doing daily, of having the gratitude, appreciating what you do, will give you that strength and mental health and the positive journey that we're all looking for, because we are on this planet, we are on our own trajectories, and we want to enjoy it as much as we can. So in context, enjoy the journey, have gratitude for the things in your life. That's it from me today, a nice short episode. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.